Okay, friends, hi, Doc South here, and although I've worked in supermarkets for quite a while, I did, well, you get right down to it, it's only been about 12 years. Yeah, I mean, I think I was doing radio work longer than that, but still, I'm supermarkets now kind of my bag, and and I gotta say I don't dislike it. I know for a while I worked for the A&P. Yeah, if I was I was pretty much there when they announced they were going to close all those A&Ps from a company that existed actually from before the Civil War. There weren't supermarkets then, but I think the fella who started A&P did have a store or two in Manhattan. Started out going to the clipper ships, berthed in New York Harbor, and he'd offer to buy the tea. He'd offer to buy the tea, leftover tea from the ship's captains. They'd sell it to him. He'd take it home and I guess put it in tins and sell it under the auspices of the Atlantic and Pacific Tea Company. And yeah, A&P. And I guess he did so well, he started selling other stuff, and pretty soon, my gosh, you can only lug so much down the streets. So he opened up a store or two, and well, the rest, as they say, is rock and roll history. At one point, another way of saying supermarket was to say A&P. Right. Well, they were closing after all those years. Okay. I mean, honestly, Abraham Lincoln could have stopped at the A&P on his way to Gettysburg. Ask the engineer to stop. He sees an A&P maybe in York, Pennsylvania, and he'd go in there and get some paper, an envelope or two, some ink to write the Gettysburg Address. I mean, it's conceivable. It was a very big chain. At one time, they had they sponsored the world's first coast-to-coast radio broadcast. Yeah, it was like 15 minutes of music. Can't think of I can't think of who was the star of the show. Something like Harry Horlick and happy his happy Four Rangers or something. I don't know. And they played I think it was polkas. I could be wrong. It might have been something else, but they had a little show, and Atlantic and Pacific did it. Well, anyway, they were closing, and I was in the Mount Olive A&P, and kind of scratching my head as to what am I going to do. Well, and one thing we were doing was running through the back room, all the little nooks and crannies in the back, and getting all that stuff that hadn't sold and putting it on the shelves. If nothing else, the shelves were getting a little bare. So I know one thing, we found all these crates of Matzos. Yeah, matzo crackers. And I took a bite out of this one, so forgive me. Yeah, right there. And we had these on the shelf. And again, why throw them out? We put them on the shelf for a quarter a pop. Now that not a quarter for one of these. No. No, they're rather thin, and frankly, not much to them. Takes a mess of them to fill a skillet, and these are just plain old crackers, no salt, little wheat. That's about it. And I guess back in the day, they probably baked them in these little stone ovens or whatever, and let them sit out in the sun. And that was matzos. I believe used for Passover. I think. I'm not so sure if. I don't think Noah had any on the ark, and I'm not so sure Moses had any on his trip. Then again, yeah, he probably did. They're light. God knows. I mean, how much could that weigh? Right. So you throw a bunch of them in your knapsack, and off you go into the Sinai, and hope you find a McDonald's somewhere out there. So anyway, I was looking, and the price on these boxes of matzos were a quarter a pop. Yeah, a quarter. No, not for just one cracker. That's what you'd think. But no, these were, look at this box. Huh? Yeah, I know. Sheesh. I don't know how many are in here. Does it say? Uh-oh. It's in, it's not in English. It's a pound of matzos, which means there's an awful lot of these things in here. Can't see what it is. But what I did, I said, gee, if they're only a quarter, I got to think of the birds. And yeah, Sandy and I, well, in the winter, we like to feed the birds. But there's like a little spot. We're along the river, so that's like Route 80 to birds, especially in the winter. They're flying back and forth, get a well-deserved drink of water, maybe spot a crawfish or something. They're, all done. But still, in between those lucky moments when they find some critter to gorf down, they need seeds, and they hope people have left bird seed out. Well, bird seed's a little expensive for Sandy and me. I mean, look at us. We're not made of money. Okay. So I said, these matzos would hit the spot. What I did was I bought one box and we put them outside for the birds. It was approaching, winter was lagging at that point. It was somewhere in the late spring, and so we put them out, and my God, the birds pounced on them. Oh my gosh, they were all over the place. Well, okay. So I said, Sandy, what do you think? They like them, huh? She says, yeah, I think they do. I said, okay. So I went and what I did was I went to the store and I bought a couple of crates of the things. Yeah, I did. There was something like 22 a crate. So that'd be at $1 a pop, and I got a little bit of a deal, company, discount. And also they were hoping to get rid of them. They weren't selling too well. I mean, it wasn't Passover when we were trying to sell them. And long story short, I got them for about 20 cents a box. Yeah, one of these boxes for 20 cents. Yeah, I know. And I brought 2 or 3 boxes home to Sandy, and she said, this is going to be all we're going to need. Summer's coming. Pretty soon the birds got to eat bugs. I don't want them filling them, getting their bellies all full of matzos the whole summer. She says, come on. I say, oh, you're right. They got to fend for themselves in the summer. When the living is easy and there's lots of mosquitoes and stuff to eat, ants and things. Well, birds like that. Don't turn your nose up. They're pretty darn tasty, I imagine, if you're a bird. So we went with those 2 or 3. Well, matzos were getting, we were getting closer and closer to closing date. And those boxes were going down to like 10 cents a box. Very, very cheap. Yeah. Even if I'm wrong on that, still they were a quarter. They were a whole lot more than that earlier in the during the season, shall we say. So again, long story short, I bought buckets of them, and I thought to myself, if I bring these all in the house at once, I'm going to be out there with the birds eating bugs. Okay. Sandy would see to it, yes. And so what I did, I went and got, I cleaned out under the bed, and I just put one box after another under the bed, and more and more and more. And I said, I'll give these to Sandy for Christmas. That's about when we start feeding the birds, big time, and she'll love it. And the birds will like it too. So I felt pretty good about the whole thing, and I shoved them under the bed. Didn't realize, well, Christmas came. I gave Sandy about 8 boxes. I figured that's how many I bought. And gave them to Sandy. She was tickled. She ran right out, mushed them up, threw them out to the birds, and there you go. And, we had other things we could find, they got too, got as well. Well, just the other day, I was looking for some important papers, and behind a suitcase, and I think a box of records, and I think one mixing board, I found, look at this. I found 5 more boxes. Yes, 5 more, friends. So I went and alerted Sandy, and that's actually probably at least 3/4 of a winter's supply. And you'd say, well, God, Doc, they're stale. What do you get you for animal cruelty, feeding stale matzos to the birds. These are hermetically sealed. They haven't. These are just like they were sealed in the Great Pyramids of Giza. They're crunchy as can be, not stale at all. And now that it's winter, or almost winter, we did the test run, mushed a bunch of them up, threw them over the side of the deck. The birds are going nuts. Yep. So, doggone. I'm kind of glad I waited to find them. I think there might be some more under one of the dressers. There's this one dresser we got. I got a hunch I may have put some there. And I think there's some in my underwear drawer. Yeah. And maybe one or two behind the bathtub. So I think we're all set for matzos. The birds are going to eat well. And then I find things, at the other store I work at now. And when they goes on really good sale, I snag it. What we try to do is give the birds, breads and anything with seeds in it if possible. And over the top it goes. And man, they just out of their little minds just love it. Yeah. And pretty soon we'll show you movies. Okay, well, anyway, that's a wrap, friends. I just thought I'd share my good fortune with you. And matzos do make, especially if you can get them really, really cheap after the holidays. They're a great thing for the birds. Oh, some little bird, a sparrow or something, gets a hold of about a square inch's worth of matzah, manages to get it to his spot on the tree. You can see him up there with his claw, just chewing away, happy as a clam. Fills their belly. Yeah. So then with a little luck, maybe they fly around somewhere where they can find a couple of dead ants or something, and they make it through another day. Yeah. So anyway, Doc South here, making it through another night. I hope you enjoyed that story. We'll catch you later. Remember my YouTube site. Well, you know it already, Doc South Show. I'm also on Facebook as Doc South. And my books are available. Aunt Barb's Magic Oven. Again, if you want one, you just let me know and you can have one. If you care to donate, well, that's fine. To my book publishing efforts, that would be great. If you don't, you don't. Okay, so you let me know. Well, bingo. Okay, I'll see you later, friends. Thank you, and for now, ta-ta.